So next up, we will have a person who has worked with NIVEA, Tommy Hilfiger, and Timex Group. She's the founder and chief marketing officer at Influencers Marketing Agency. She has a deep knowledge of digital trends and infectious energy. I love that word. So please, everybody, give a big hand of applause, Emilie Tabor.
Good afternoon, morning, everyone. I'm Emilie Tabor, and I would like to talk to you about how to bypass million-dollar marketing budgets by effectively using influencers. Now, that sounds like quite a promise I'm making here, so I hope I can give you some tips and tricks, some tools on how to do this in an efficient way today. What is influencer marketing? I like to start off telling you how I discovered influencer marketing and how I got into the field, because it all started with luck, basically. We built a platform about 8 years ago called Fashionista, which is basically a Pinterest for fashion. And we did this before Pinterest even was created. And we found out that influencers started using this. And 8 years back, it was fashion girls sharing an outfit of the day and just sharing what their passion was. And we saw that they were using it, and we said, you know what, let's motivate them to use it more. Within about, say, 2 to 3 months, we saw more than 5 million active users coming onto our platform from Brazil and China and the US and the UK, and we thought, wow, influencers, that's going to be big. So, as you do when you're an entrepreneur, we sold the platform and we started IMA, the Influencer Marketing Agency, because we had brands knocking on our door saying, how the hell do we work with influencers? We can't grasp this, but we know it's going to be huge. And we had influencers calling us, emailing us. There was no Instagram yet, hallelujah, no direct messages, but asking us for advice. How do we work with brands? And how can I be commercial but still be loyal to my followers? And we thought, okay, we've got this. We're going to start a company where we help brands work with influencers, and we help influencers work with brands. Today, we have our offices in Amsterdam and in New York, running global campaigns. We've worked with over 25,000 influencers, and we're there to facilitate, to help the brands, help the influencers, and make sure that brands learn to let go of control in this fast-moving, crazy world, and to help influencers be creative and authentic and stay true to their followers. Now, back to numbers. Influencer marketing is growing. Everyone knows this. There's many influencers popping up. The social media channels are facilitating every single growth, and marketeers are learning to let go and to do right. So just to give you a little bit of an example of influencer marketing, when we do go back to these million-dollar marketing budgets, I think during the intro, they said that we've been working for NIVEA for years and years in all the different markets. Now one day, this 16-year-old YouTuber stands up, wakes up and thinks, you know what? I really hate all those boring shower foams we have on the market today. Why do they all have the same color, the same disgusting soapy smell? What can we do about this? So she posts a video on YouTube saying, guys, if I would create the perfect shower foam, and we're talking about a pretty boring product here. If I would create the perfect shower foam, what would it smell like? Think of the craziest combinations. What would it look like? What would you buy? So thousands and thousands of girls, boys start brainstorming and commenting, and it's going insane. We're talking about shower foam here. And she, with no commercial mindset at all, has these products developed. And she makes a vanilla, sparkly, strawberry, crazy as it goes, millennials go pretty far, she has these products made. And within a couple of months, she takes over 15% market share from NIVEA. These people are stressed out right now because this 16-year-old girl is doing this. And guess what? Her products are twice the price of NIVEA's shower foam. So yes, influencer marketing works. Why does it work? Human-to-human marketing. Influencer marketing is the oldest trick in the book. It's word of mouth 2.0. Think about it. If your friend says, I love that new restaurant, the food is amazing, go and check it out, you'll go. If a restaurant is screaming out how fabulous their menu is, you'll think, okay, no, this is probably just a very commercial message, and you won't believe it. Now, I love this quote because it's true. A brand is no longer what we tell consumers it is what consumers tell each other it is. Again, this human-to-human connection. And we've seen this one before. So Nick, again, I'm glad that we have the same stats. 90% of consumers trust peer recommendations and only 33% trust ads. Now, we often get the question from different companies saying, so do we have to stop with our ads? Do we have to stop online marketing, Google ads, TVCs? No, of course not. It's about the good marketing mix. So have a natural marketing mix, a healthy mix, and, listen to your communities, listen to your brand endorsers, because they are building up your brand. They are your consumers. So I'd like to go into 10 different tactics. This is not a checklist, but at least 10 different tips and tricks about how to do influencer marketing right. And I hope that you go home today thinking, okay, so I got some tips and tricks here. I'm doing great. I'm doing horrible, but I have some tools to change. First of all, data. Oh, sorry. Next, data. I'm not a numbers girl. I hate numbers, but I've learned over the last 8 years that this is extremely important when working with influencers. You can open up an influencer's Instagram feed and think, oh, her pictures look nice. She's got a lot of followers, and the amount of likes convert, so I've learned somewhere that the engagement rate is supposed to be pretty good. Dig deeper than the surface. Look at her followers, and, we can measure, for instance, but there's plenty of tools who can do this. We can measure who the followers are, where these followers are based, in what towns are they based, how old are they, how many children do people have. It's crazy how far data goes, but you can measure a lot. Then also look at, what competitors have the influencers worked with. Does he or she already love my brand? Because that is so important. If you have the right influencer match, then you do not have to brief and keep control. Of course, they need to love your brand. They need to know your brand, brief them on the brand DNA, but let go a little bit and let them create authentic content, because the influencers know their followers better than anyone does. Then marketeers tend to measure campaigns when they're running, so when they're going. Measure beforehand and set some hardcore KPIs for yourself. I mean, are you doing this campaign or this collaboration for branding, for conversion, but also, do you want to reach new target audiences? What is it that you really want to do? And then, when you finish the campaign, dig deeper than just those numbers. Get some solid insights to continue working. So here you can see a few different stats that we look at when, we're working with brands and with influencers. But I think more importantly, influencers come in all shapes and sizes. They're creatives. There's, of course, the macro influencers that we had from years back, and they've now become celebrities with millions and millions of followers. But a beautiful trend is also the micro influencers. So I'd like to show you a couple of micro influencers and give you a specific example here. Micro-influencers can have a following between, say, 5,000 to 10 million followers, it's not all about just the reach, it's about the niche segment that they're in. So there's influencers like, for instance, Anna Marina, who is a truck driver, and just an FYI, micro-influencers, because they have such a niche following as well, with a high interest, have about a 65% higher engagement rate than other influencers. So we were asked by TomTom, a navigation, we were asked by TomTom to work on a campaign for them with navigation systems for large vehicles. And they said, how the hell do we reach truck drivers? So we did our math and our research, and we found out that 89% of truck drivers use social media every single day because they're on the road and they're lonely. And there are these super engaged truck driving communities. So we created this whole community program where they could interact together, where they were sharing content on the road and in a safe way, not while they were driving, of course. And it worked. It worked in such a tremendous way that TomTom finally got to reach this audience because we found them for them. Now, empower and not overpower. Again, let go of control. Let the influencers be the creatives. Do not do this. As you see here, one of the ex-husbands of the Kardashians is just copy and pasting the caption that the brand sent to him to post at 4 p.m. Please, influencers, do not do this. Brands, do not do this. I'd like to show you an example of a global campaign where the brand still had quite some control, but we created a platform for different creatives who could fill it in their own way. How did a famous tattoo artist do this? How did a designer do this? I'll just show you the video and I'll stop talking.
The Flower Council of Holland works to inspire consumers through the beauty of flowers and plants by showing them how they enrich their lives. But some consumers are becoming more difficult to reach. So we came up with an innovative way to show them how flowers add value to their everyday through a medium they were already using and through influences that inspire them. Introducing the ad blocker that inspires.
What excited me was this empowering idea that you could reclaim your digital space.
Because human-to-human connections are more powerful than brand messaging, we knew traditional media wouldn't cut it to connect with this audience. So we selected 6 influential creatives, each with a trusted voice in our target markets, to design unique floral artwork that make your banner ads bloom. Flowers and plants are scientifically proven to enrich our lives, and ads definitely don't. So we created ad blockers that replace the chaos of ads with the beauty of flowers. To make sure we'd reach the right audience, over 30 artists, creatives, and innovators created stunning interpretations of flowers, linking to their favorite ad blocker artwork. So far, we've transformed over 46 million banner ads into flower art, and we're still counting. By leveraging human connections, we're creating digital ones that will continue to inspire consumers to enrich their offline lives with flowers, too.
Thank you. So think long-term because you are building up relations, and think multi-layer strategy. You saw that at the case I just showed you. You know, the micro-influencers are there to reach a very broad target audience and spread this awareness, but the influencers are there to create more commercial or creative content, and the micro-influencers are so close to your community, so leverage their power. And then give them an experience. So when you're working with long-term brand ambassadors, give them an experience and make them part of your brand family, because the more you do so, the more they feel connected. And look, the more content they'll be creating as well for you. Yeah, I don't think I have time to show the other video, so I'll skip. So also leverage their power and their content and use it on your own channels as well. Be transparent, because the influencers are transparent as well about this long-term partnership. Millennials have learned and have grown up with the fact that influencers do this for a living, are paid, and the influencers will be transparent about this, and it does not matter, because when the match is right, so when the match between the brand and the influencer is right, the content is authentic. So be transparent at all stages in time. When influencers are too commercial, when they're working with brands that do not fit, their followers notice this and their engagement rate goes down. So that does not work. So influencers need to stay true to themselves, and brands do as well. Influencers are a great way to pioneer as well. When a new channel arises, when Musical.ly launches, influencers are there first. When Snapchat arises, influencers jump on it. For a brand, it's often quite a while to build this up and to build up these social channels. But you do not have to do so, because you can be there with the influencers. So don't be afraid to experiment with influencers, with new channels, and also with new target audiences, and with new themes and styles. Co-create together with them and listen to them. And then meaningful results. So look beyond the actuals and gain these insights. As I said before, do your math and your research beforehand, but also do so at the end of a campaign. So, did you reach these new audiences? What is the future of these influencers? People often ask us, are influencers a trend? Is influencer marketing going to die out? Well, people who ask us this think that social media is going to die. Social media has given everyone a voice. And if you ask me where the future of influencer marketing is going, it's going more to the micro, to the communities standing up together, more niche audiences. It's beautiful. Everyone's getting a voice. And when we facilitate this, we're closer to our target audience than we have ever been. So, just to summarize, I hope in these 20 minutes I've been able to give you quite some tools and tips and tricks on how to work with influencers. And don't forget, first of all, look at the data and do your math right at the beginning of working with influencers. They come in all different shapes and sizes. Do your research right. Let go of control, so empower and do not overpower. Be in it for the long run. Think about a multi-layer strategy so you can get close to all different audiences and you can spread your message in your right way. Create an experience for them. Talk to them. What do they like doing? Think about a more multimedia approach. So, are we going to leverage our own social channels? Are there going to be offline and online events? Is it more video production, social strategies? Always be transparent and pioneer with influencers, because in that way you will create meaningful results. Now, as I said before, influencer marketing is definitely not going anywhere. So, time for everyone to start now. Thank you.